We are saving the economy with a question. IMF or broke? As you know today, the Bank of Ghana has announced a raft of measures aimed at beginning this long journey towards saving this economy. It was after a long retreat, first with cabinet and then with all ministers, and then the MPs joined. The president called all of them into the room and they plotted a plan towards recovery. Now we know part of the plan has been made public by the Bank of Ghana. We are now expecting the finance minister to also this week come forth with the remainder of the plan that the government and the president believes is going to be a, as we say, call it a silver bullet, that will indeed, reverse the terrible economic downturn that we are facing as a country within the bigger global context. And so what did the Bank of Ghana do, and will that solve the problem? But then we're also going to be talking about going forward as we anticipate what the finance minister is about to say this week. What are the options? Should IMF be on the table? And if not IMF on the table, doesn't mean we're going to go broke, because government is clear IMF is off the table. But should it be off the table? And if it's off the table, what are the other options that government can consider? Those are the things we'll be talking about tonight on PMS. So let's go to some of the specifics as we know it. So this is the Bank of Ghana today. If you haven't heard, and this is the first time you're hearing, the Bank of Ghana has done a few things. They've increased the policy rate. Basically, they've increased the interest rate as of today quite significantly. If you read the Reuters reports that this increase of 14.5 to 17% is the largest jump in 20 years, right? So that's a significant jump. What this does essentially is the cost of banks borrowing from the central bank. Banks do borrow from the central bank, right? The cost of banks borrowing from the central bank will go up. What that means is the cost at which you also borrow from the banks will also go up. That is to mop up excess liquidity in the system. In other words, you've seen inflation going up above 15%. It's simply a case of economics 101. There's so much money chasing so few goods, you have inflation. The Bank of Ghana believes if you mop up the excess liquidity, excess money in the system, it will help with inflation. But there are other benefits there also. We're going to be getting into that tonight. But fundamentally, that's what this is going to do. It's going to help with inflation. But it's also going to make the cedi attractive a bit, because people don't trust the cedi. But with this particular move, the cedi is going to become attractive. For those people who are investing, this is going to be key for them. People are going to be moved to, cedi-denominated instruments, etc. So the Bank of Ghana has moved with this particular policy right now today, increasing the policy rate significantly. But as many have said, it is a double-edged sword. And so once you increase the interest rates, it could also stifle money that will be available for small businesses that are recovering on the back of the COVID pandemic. But it's which of these is the worst of two evils, I guess, is the question that the Bank of Ghana was faced with, and I've gone with this. Let's put it in context. Many countries around the globe have done this, by the way. Russia did it recently when the ruble started collapsing. And so it is a very established, safe bet policy intervention when you're having the economic crisis you're having currently. But the biggest question for me is, why now? Why did the Bank of Ghana wait this long to do this? Something they've always done. It's one of the simplest tools you have in your arsenals to throw out a problem when your economy is facing the challenges we're having right now. So why has the Bank of Ghana waited this long to make this move? Why not last month when the cedi was showing signs of non-recovery? Why now? Did they wait too late to jump in when the cedi is now at what, 8.5 to the dollar? So we'll talk about that. And there were other things that they also did, all really within the same concept and the same idea of trying to reduce liquidity in the system. Now, so the government itself is telling us they're going to do a few things. When you get into an economic crisis, take your own family. When you start struggling with money, the first thing you need to do, nobody will tell you this, is you have to start tightening your belt, cutting the expenditure. If you eat 3 times a day, you possibly begin to eat once a day. Government says, government is going to do that. This country is going to do that. So they're going to be reviewing all flagship programs, including the free SHS. It's not off the table. It's not off the table. That's one of the things that government says they will be doing. They also be cutting government expenditure. They have announced this already by 20%. That is quite a significant cut. When they announced this early in the year, I think it was January, the market reacted positively to it, right? So let's see the cuts. Government says we'll do that. Cut some margins and levies to reduce fuel prices is something that they, on the show last week, the deputy energy minister confirmed will happen, right? So these will be cut to try and, this is going to be help cushion you, and then this is helping tighten our expenditure. So you're going to cut what we're spending so there's more money to do other things. And then if you look at the monetary policy rate trend over time, this was 26%. That's very high. In 2016, we're going to talk to a man who was there when it was 26%. And it came down to 25% in 2017, and it's been dropping ever since. And we came to this is January 2020, and it's gone back to 17. So that's quite a significant jump in a long time, right? I mean, from the increase that we've seen there. We'll try and put this in context for you pretty shortly. And then you look at the import cover figures in months. Now, this is the IMF dilemma I'm beginning to emphasize here. Why is this important? When your import cover, your foreign reserves fall below a certain threshold, below 2 months import cover, you have no choice than to run to the IMF. And as you see here, this is according to the Bank of Ghana. We are, if you look at 2014 to 2015, when we last went to the IMF, we were in dangerous territory. We were 2.8 months when we went, according to the Bank of Ghana. That's when we went to the IMF. What is the import cover? The foreign reserves you have stored out of this country that we use as a country to do business. So those who have loaned us money, we pay them with that money, right? And when they see that other money is going down, they begin to panic that you can't pay us anymore. You're going to be defaulting. And that is when countries rush to the IMF. It is a very dangerous place to be. You can't do business. You can't buy your fuel. You can't buy your petrol, your products on the market. It is a dangerous place to be. That is the apocalypse when your foreign reserves shrink to these levels what it was. And that's a tech, who will join us tonight, by the way, to have a conversation. But that is the trend. We saw it going down from a high of 4.1 months of import cover, all the way to 2.8. And then when it got there, we had to go to the IMF. As we speak today, we don't have that problem. So that is a saving grace right now, which is the fact that we are 4.3 months of import cover, which is quite good if you look at it. And in real terms, we're talking about $9.5 billion. So the government, we have money in foreign reserves, external reserves. This is good. $9.5 billion. But this is money that we can't touch. If you start dwindling this, you are in trouble. And so people are saying, why don't you just simply fall on this to shore up the city? Pump the money into the system to shore up the city. Government is not doing that yet. The finance minister, the Bank of Ghana announced today that they've pumped some money into the system to support targeted agencies and businesses that import in bulk. So the BDCs that import the products have received support. So targeted, but not, just pumping the money into the system. Because if we do this and we start dwindling this, we're going to be in trouble. If you go back to when we went to the IMF, we're doing 5.5 billion, 4.7 billion, according to the Bank of Ghana at that time. So there's a significant difference here that you don't want to touch. You don't want this to become this. And so this is important where we are. And then inflation. Part of the reason the Bank of Ghana had done this is also to make sure the inflation is brought under control. And this is a graph that shows you where we are and where we are between 2014 and 2015. Inflation was climbing all the way to 16.80%. Now we are just about 15%. That is 15.7%. And the Bank of Ghana believes what they've done today will help it go back down. And if it does that, you may get some relief. You may get some relief at the pumps. And some of the things you buy, the prices will be stable at the pumps. So today we're going to be talking about, will the measure save the economy? If not, what else must government add?